Discovery at the edge. The quantum resonance detector wouldn't stop screaming. Dr. Elena Santos stared at the readings flooding her holographic display, her dark eyes reflecting cascading waves of data that shouldn't exist. The detector, her life's work, was designed to measure subtle quantum fluctuations in spacetime, but nothing about these readings was subtle. "Mason, are you seeing this?" she called out, her voice echoing through the observation dome of Lunar Station Epsilon. Mason Chen looked up from his own console, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of his displays. "Seeing it. I'm getting readings from every sensor array in the solar system. Whatever this is, it's massive." Elena pulled up a three-dimensional map of the solar system, watching as waves of quantum distortion rippled outward from a single point, Earth. Their homeworld pulsed like a beacon in quantum space, each wave perfectly timed, perfectly structured. "This isn't natural," she whispered, more to herself than to Mason. "These patterns, they're too precise." The observation dome's windows automatically dimmed as Earth rose over the lunar horizon, its familiar blue-white sphere now seeming somehow different. Elena had spent 15 years studying quantum mechanics, trying to understand the fundamental forces that shaped reality. But nothing in her research had prepared her for this. "Elena," Mason's voice was tight with tension. "The AI just finished its analysis of the wave patterns. You need to see this." She walked over to his station, her magnetic boots clicking against the metal floor. The display showed a complex mathematical model, one that made her breath catch in her throat. "That's impossible." "Is it?" Mason asked, highlighting specific sections of the data. "Look at the symmetry, the precision. These aren't random quantum fluctuations. This is a containment field." Elena's mind raced through the implications. A containment field around Earth. But that would mean. "Someone put it there," Mason finished. "A long time ago, judging by how deeply it's integrated into Earth's natural systems." Before Elena could respond, a new alert flashed across their screens. The quantum waves were changing, their pattern shifting like a combination lock clicking into place. Streams of data began pouring through their systems, encrypted in a way they'd never seen before. "It's responding to us," Elena realized. All these years of quantum research, building more sensitive detectors, we weren't just observing it, we were proving we could see it. The first decoded message appeared on their screens, its implications staggering. "Verification complete. Indigenous species has achieved quantum observation capability. Beginning protocol awakening." Throughout the solar system, ancient systems buried beneath planets and moons began to stir. On Mars, deep beneath the red soil, crystalline structures that had waited millions of years hummed to life. In the asteroid belt, hidden stations began broadcasting signals that had last been transmitted when Earth's first mammals were still small, scurrying things. Back in the observation dome, Elena and Mason watched in awe as more data streamed in. The containment field wasn't just holding something in, it was holding something back. Something that existed in the spaces between realities, forces that could tear the universe apart if not properly managed. "Look at these genetic markers," Mason said, pulling up new data. "They're comparing our DNA to some kind of template." "Elena, I think we were engineered." "Engineered to what?" Elena asked, though part of her already knew the answer. The next decoded message confirmed her suspicion. "Species development. Successful. Quantum resonance compatibility. Optimal. Beginning transfer of Guardian protocols." "We weren't just studying quantum mechanics," Elena said softly. "We were learning our inheritance." As if in response, the quantum waves pulsing from Earth intensified, carrying with them knowledge that had waited eons to be discovered. Humanity hadn't been contained because they were dangerous. They had been protected until they were ready. Ready to understand what their world really was. Ready to take their place as guardians of forces that could reshape reality itself. The quantum resonance detector had fallen silent now, its purpose fulfilled. It had helped humanity prove they could see the truth that had been waiting for them since before their species existed. As Alina stared at Earth through the dome's windows, she realized that every scientific discovery, every step forward in human understanding, had been leading to this moment. They weren't just inhabitants of Earth, they were its chosen protectors, engineered over millions of years to be capable of understanding and controlling powers that most species couldn't even perceive. "Mason," she said, her voice steady despite the weight of this revelation, "contact the World Science Council. Tell them we found out what Earth really is, and what we were meant to become." As the message was sent, ancient systems throughout the solar system continued to awaken, ready to share secrets that had waited millions of years to be discovered. Humanity's true purpose was finally being revealed, and nothing would ever be the same. The quantum waves pulsed outward into space, carrying news of humanity's awakening to waiting systems scattered throughout the galaxy. Earth wasn't just their home, it was their destiny. And now, finally, they were ready to understand why. Alina looked at the stream of data, each revelation more extraordinary than the last, and smiled. The real work was just beginning. The Guardian Protocol. Beneath the Himalayan mountains, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Director Sarah Chen watched as the holographic representation of Earth's quantum field danced before her. 3 months had passed since the discovery at Lunar Station Epsilon, and humanity was still struggling to comprehend the magnitude of what they'd found. "The containment protocols are like nothing we've ever seen," Dr. James Rodriguez explained, manipulating the display to zoom in on a particular energy node beneath the Pacific Ocean. "They don't just suppress these quantum forces, they channel them, direct them, use them to maintain Earth's stability." Sarah nodded, studying the intricate patterns. As head of the newly formed Quantum Guardian Initiative, she had spent countless hours trying to understand the system their ancestors had left in their care. "Show me the latest genetic analysis." The display shifted, revealing complex strands of human DNA alongside streams of quantum data. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" James said softly. "Every major leap in human evolution, every seemingly random genetic adaptation, it was all guided by these forces. We didn't just evolve to survive on Earth. We evolved to become its guardians." A soft chime interrupted them as Dr. Alina Santos, now Chief of Quantum Research, entered the room. "Director, we've made a breakthrough in decoding the Guardian protocols." The holographic display shifted again, showing what appeared to be instructions encoded in the quantum field itself. "The ancients didn't just leave us a containment system," Alina explained, her excitement evident. "They left us a manual, but they made sure we couldn't access it until we were ready to understand it. And we understand it now." Sarah asked, raising an eyebrow. "We're beginning to," Alina replied. "The quantum forces that Earth contains, they're not just destructive. They're tools, building blocks of reality itself. The containment system isn't just holding them back, it's processing them, refining them." James stepped forward, adding his own data to the display. "That's why human consciousness has such strange effects on quantum systems. Our brains evolved to naturally interface with these forces. We're not just observers of quantum phenomena. We're meant to be its shepherds." As if to emphasize his point, a tremor shook the facility. But this was no natural earthquake. On the display, they could see quantum energy being safely channeled through Earth's geological systems, releasing built-up pressure in controlled bursts. "Every volcanic eruption, every seismic event," Alina said, watching the energy flow, "they're all part of the system's maintenance protocols. And now we're learning to control them." Sarah walked through the hologram, watching as the quantum patterns shifted around her. "Have we decoded enough to understand why? Why Earth? Why humans?" Alina's expression grew serious. "Earth sits at a conjunction point of what the ancients called quantum reality streams, places where the fabric of space-time naturally wears thin. Without the containment system, these forces would tear reality apart. But with it, They become a power source unlike anything we've ever imagined. James finished. The ancients didn't just build a prison for these forces. They built a power plant, a research facility, and a training ground all in one. And they engineered us to be its operators. Another alert sounded, this one different from the previous. On the display, new data began streaming in from the quantum field. Sarah recognized the pattern. They were receiving a transmission from one of the ancient monitoring stations in the Kuiper Belt. Director, Elena said, her voice tight with excitement. I think it's responding to our progress. It's giving us more access. The holographic display exploded with new information. Secrets about the nature of reality itself, knowledge that had waited millions of years to be shared. Sarah watched as her scientists scrambled to process it all, their faces lit with wonder and determination. How much have we unlocked? She asked. Less than 1% of the total system, James replied. But even that. Director, the implications are staggering. The things we could do with this knowledge. Sarah raised her hand, silencing him. One step at a time, Doctor. We're not just dealing with new technology here. We're dealing with forces that could unmake reality itself. We need to prove we deserve the trust the ancients placed in us. Elena nodded in agreement. The quantum field is still testing us. Each new piece of knowledge only unlocks when we demonstrate we can handle the previous one responsibly. Then that's exactly what we'll do, Sarah said firmly. Humanity wasn't chosen for this role by accident. Every step in our evolution, every challenge we overcame, it was all preparing us for this moment. As if in response to her words, the quantum field pulsed with new energy. On the display, they could see similar pulses emanating from monitoring stations throughout the solar system. The ancient network was awakening, piece by piece, responding to humanity's growing understanding. Send word to all research stations, Sarah commanded. I want every piece of data analyzed, every protocol understood. We're not just protecting Earth anymore. We're protecting reality itself. And we need to get it right. As her orders were carried out, Sarah looked again at the holographic Earth, seeing it now not just as their home, but as a responsibility passed down through millions of years. Humanity had been given the keys to powers beyond imagination. Now they had to prove they were worthy of them. The quantum field pulsed again, stronger this time, as if approving their dedication. In installations around the world, more ancient systems were awakening, ready to share their secrets with the species that had finally proven themselves ready to receive them. The Guardian Protocol was just beginning, and humanity was rising to meet its destiny. First contact crisis. The warning came not from Earth's conventional defense systems, but from the quantum field itself. At monitoring stations across the globe, scientists watched as reality rippled with disturbances that shouldn't have been possible. Something was coming. Something that knew exactly what Earth contained. Admiral Kira Patel stood on the bridge of the UES Quantum Dawn, Earth's first starship equipped with technology derived from the Guardian protocols. Through the quantum sensors, she could see what normal instruments missed. Tears in the fabric of space-time, deliberate and precise, forming a net around Earth's solar system. Multiple contacts detected. Lieutenant Commander Marcus Wade reported, his hands dancing over the quantum interface. They're using controlled reality distortions as propulsion. These aren't normal ships. Kira's jaw tightened. 6 months of studying the Guardian protocols had taught humanity much. But clearly, they weren't the only ones who understood these forces. How many? 12 capital ships, Admiral. Configuration unknown. They're forming a containment pattern around Earth. The quantum field surrounding Earth pulsed in response to the intrusion, ancient defense systems awakening. In the Quantum Guardian Initiative's command center beneath the Himalayas, Director Sarah Chen watched as data streamed in from the field. They're trying to hijack the containment system, Elena Santos reported, her fingers flying over holographic controls. These ships, they're designed to interface with the quantum field directly. Can they succeed? Sarah demanded. No, James Rodriguez answered, studying the incoming data. The system's rejecting their attempts. Whatever they are, they're not the designated guardians. We are. On the quantum dawn, Kira watched as the alien ships took up positions around Earth. Their design was organic, almost crystalline, their hulls pulsing with the same kind of quantum energy that Earth contained. A transmission cut through all frequencies, both conventional and quantum. Inheritors of the ancient system, a voice spoke, somehow simultaneously mechanical and organic. You have not yet learned to properly utilize what you possess. We have come to claim guardianship. Surrender control of your containment protocols, and you will be permitted to evacuate. Kira shared a look with her bridge crew. 6 months ago, such a demand would have been meaningless. Now they understood exactly what was at stake. This is Admiral Kira Patil of Earth's Quantum Defense Fleet. Earth's guardianship is not yours to claim. The ancients chose us for a reason. The ancients are gone, the voice replied. Their choice is irrelevant. We have spent millennia studying these forces. You have barely begun to understand them. Surrender, or we will take control by force. In the Himalayan Command Center, Sarah turned to Elena. Can they actually do that? Elena shook her head. Not easily. The quantum field is. It's responding to our defense. Look. On their displays, they could see Earth's quantum field strengthening, its patterns shifting into new configurations they had never seen before. The ancient system wasn't just defending itself. It was adapting, evolving, working in concert with its human guardians. Director, James called out suddenly. The genetic markers, they're activating. Sarah rushed to his station, watching as new data poured in. Throughout the human population, dormant genetic sequences were awakening, responding to the threat. Humanity wasn't just chosen to be guardians, they were designed to become one with the system when needed. On the quantum dawn, Kira felt it first. A strange resonance, as if her consciousness was expanding beyond her body. Around her, her crew experienced the same sensation. They weren't just operating their ship anymore. They were connecting directly to the quantum field itself. Admiral, Marcus gasped, the ship's quantum systems, they're responding to our thoughts. Kira understood. The ship, built using knowledge from the Guardian protocols, wasn't just a vessel. It was an extension of humanity's role as guardians. All ships, link with your crews. Let the quantum field guide you. We are Earth's guardians, and we will prove why the ancients chose us. The alien ships launched their attack, reality-warping weapons tearing at the fabric of space-time. But Earth's quantum field responded, channeling its power through humanity's fleet. The quantum dawn moved with impossible grace, its weapons firing streams of concentrated quantum energy that could reshape reality itself. In the command center, Sarah watched the battle unfold across multiple dimensions of reality. They don't understand, she realized. The ancients didn't choose us because we were advanced. They chose us because we could grow, adapt, become one with these forces naturally. The alien ships' attacks grew more desperate as their initial strategy failed. They had expected to find a primitive species stumbling with powers they didn't understand. Instead, they found humanity stepping fully into their role as guardians, working in perfect harmony with systems that had spent millions of years preparing for this moment. Final warning, Kira transmitted to the alien fleet. Earth's guardianship is not transferable. It's not just our technology or our planet. It's who we are, what we were made to be. The quantum field pulsed with power, responding to humanity's acceptance of their role. Reality itself seemed to bend around Earth's fleet as they demonstrated why they had been chosen. The alien ships, for all their advanced technology, couldn't match the natural connection humanity had developed with these forces. One by one, the alien ships retreated, their reality warping drives tearing holes in space as they fled. But they left behind a message. You have survived our test, young guardians, but there are others who will come. Others who will not be so easily deterred. Prove that the ancients chose wisely. As the quantum field settled back into its normal patterns, Kira looked at Earth through her ship's viewport. They had faced their first test as guardians and prevailed. But she knew this was just the beginning. Humanity hadn't just inherited Earth's power. They had inherited its responsibilities, its purpose, and all the challenges that came with them. The Guardian protocols pulsed with new information, unlocked by humanity's successful defense of their role. The ancients had left them more than just power. They had left them wisdom, knowledge, and a destiny that stretched beyond the stars themselves. Earth's time of hiding was over. Now, it was time to show the cosmos why humanity had been chosen to guard reality itself. The Awakening. The quantum meditation chamber hummed with energy as Maya Patil, daughter of Admiral Kira Patel, sat cross-legged in its center. Around her, reality itself seemed to bend and flow like water, responding to her consciousness in ways that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. Remarkable, Dr. Elena Santos murmured, watching the readings from behind a quantum-shielded observation window. She's interfacing with the field at levels we didn't think possible. Next to her, James Rodriguez nodded, his eyes fixed on the swirling patterns of energy around the young woman. The second generation is showing even stronger connections than we did. The genetic adaptations are accelerating. Maya opened her eyes, which now shimmered with quantum energy. Since the battle with the alien fleet 6 months ago, humanity had discovered that their connection to Earth's power went far deeper than anyone had imagined. Children born after the awakening of the Guardian protocols showed unprecedented abilities to interface with the quantum field. "I can see them," Maya said, her voice resonating with multiple harmonics. "The anchors the ancients left throughout the galaxy. They're calling to us." In the months following the alien attack, humanity had discovered that Earth wasn't an isolated phenomenon. The ancients had left a network of quantum relay stations throughout the galaxy, waiting for Earth's guardians to mature enough to find them. Director Sarah Chen entered the observation room, her presence commanding immediate attention. "Show me," she said simply. Maya raised her hands, and the quantum field responded. A three-dimensional map of the galaxy materialized in the chamber, showing countless points of light connected by threads of quantum energy. Each point represented a station left by the ancients, forming a vast network with Earth at its heart. "They're not just monitoring stations," Maya explained, her consciousness stretched across the quantum field. They're nodes in a vast quantum computer. Earth isn't just containing reality warping forces, it's processing them, using them to maintain the stability of space-time itself. Sarah leaned forward, studying the map. "And we're meant to manage this network. We're meant to become part of it," Maya replied. "The ancients, they didn't just give us a job. They gave us a path to evolution." In orbit above Earth, the Quantum Dawn patrolled the solar system's quantum boundaries. Admiral Kira Patil stood on her bridge, watching as her crew worked in perfect synchronization with their ship's quantum systems. The technology they had derived from the Guardian protocols had advanced decades in months, driven by humanity's growing understanding of their role. "Admiral," her quantum communications officer called out, "we're detecting unusual activity from the Andromeda quantum relay." Kira turned her attention to the quantum field, letting her consciousness expand through the ship's sensors. The relay station in Andromeda, one of the furthest they had discovered, was pulsing with unusual energy patterns. "It's a message," she realized, from the ancients themselves. Back in the meditation chamber, Maya suddenly straightened, her eyes wide. "I can see it too," she said, her voice filled with wonder. "They left messages throughout the network, time-locked, waiting for us to be ready to receive them." The message began to decode itself, transmitted through quantum entanglement across millions of light years. In research stations around the world, scientists watched as ancient knowledge poured through their systems. They weren't just protecting Earth, Elena breathed, reading the decoded data. They were protecting a seed, a starting point for something greater. The message revealed a truth that stunned even those who had spent months studying the Guardian protocols. Earth's quantum containment system wasn't just a defense mechanism, it was an incubator. The reality warping forces it contained weren't just being suppressed. They were being refined, processed, waiting for humanity to evolve enough to use them properly. "Look at this," James said, highlighting a section of the message. "The genetic markers they engineered into our ancestors. They're not just about controlling the quantum field. They're about becoming quantum beings ourselves." Maya stood in the meditation chamber, her consciousness now stretched across the galaxy through the ancient network. "I can feel it," she said. "The next step. We're not just meant to guard these forces, we're meant to become one with them." In the Himalayan command center, Sarah watched as more data poured in from the ancient network. The quantum field around Earth was strengthening, responding to humanity's growing understanding. They weren't just learning to use these powers. They were learning to become them. "Director," Alina called out urgently, "the quantum field. It's changing. Not just around Earth. Everywhere. The entire network is responding to our development." The ancient message continued to unfold, revealing a plan millions of years in the making. Humanity hadn't just been chosen to guard reality. They had been chosen to shepherd it into its next phase of evolution. The quantum forces that could tear reality apart could also be used to guide it, shape it, help it grow. "We're ready," Maya said, standing in the center of the swirling quantum energies. The ancients knew we would be. Every challenge we faced, every obstacle we've overcome, it was all preparing us for this moment. Throughout the solar system, the quantum field pulsed with new energy as humanity began to truly awaken to their potential. They weren't just Earth's guardians anymore. They were becoming the guardians of reality itself, ready to take their place in a cosmic plan that had waited millions of years to unfold. The awakening had begun, and with it, humanity's true journey was finally starting. Legacy of the Stars. The Great Hall of the Galactic Conclave fell silent as Maya Patel stepped onto the speaker's platform. Now 30 years old, she carried herself with the quiet confidence of someone who had grown up understanding humanity's true place in the cosmos. The quantum field rippled around her, visible to all species who had evolved the ability to perceive it. Representatives from 10,000 civilizations watched as she raised her hand, causing the hall's holographic systems to spring to life. Above them, a perfect representation of reality's quantum structure appeared, showing the vast network that humanity now helped maintain. 30 years ago, Maya began, her voice carrying naturally through the vast chamber. Humanity discovered what we truly were. Today, we invite all of you to join us in the next step of cosmic evolution. In orbit around Earth, the Quantum Dawn, now commanded by Admiral Marcus Wade, maintained its vigilant watch. But it was no longer alone. A fleet of ships from various species patrolled alongside it, each crew carefully chosen and trained by humanity to help maintain the quantum barriers that kept reality stable. The ancients didn't choose humanity because we were special. Maya continued, displaying images of the quantum training academies that had been established throughout the galaxy. They chose us because we could teach others, because we could help the galaxy understand these forces without fearing them. Director Sarah Chen, her hair now silver, but her presence still commanding, watched from Earth through a quantum projection. The Quantum Guardian Initiative had evolved into something far greater than anyone had imagined. A galactic organization dedicated to understanding and protecting the fundamental forces of reality itself. "Look at what we've achieved together," Maya said, showing the changes their shared work had created. The quantum network, once dormant, now pulsed with life and purpose. Reality warping forces that once threatened to tear the universe apart were being harnessed to heal cosmic damage, to restore dying stars, to bridge the gaps between galaxies themselves. Humanity's role was never to hoard this power, she explained, but to show others how to use it responsibly. The ancients didn't just want guardians, they wanted teachers. In quantum meditation chambers across the galaxy, beings of all species learned to touch the quantum field, guided by human instructors who understood both the power and responsibility such abilities carried. The genetic markers that the ancients had engineered into humanity were being studied, not to be copied, but to help other species find their own paths to quantum awareness. We face challenges still, Maya acknowledged, showing images of dark areas in the quantum network where reality itself seemed wounded. There are forces that oppose our work, entities that would rather destroy than create. But we face them together, each species bringing their own strengths to our shared purpose. The quantum field rippled with energy as she spoke, responding to the collective consciousness of all those who had learned to touch it. Humanity had kept their promise to the ancients. They had not only mastered these forces, but had shown others how to do the same safely, responsibly, and with purpose. Today, Maya announced, we open the last of the ancient vaults, containing knowledge that has waited millions of years to be shared. But we do not open it as humans alone. We open it as a galaxy united in purpose, ready to take the next step in cosmic evolution together. In installations throughout the galaxy, quantum processors hummed with power as the final locks were released. The ancients' last messages began to flow through the network, carrying with them secrets about the nature of reality itself and humanity's final test as teachers. The ancients knew that true guardianship couldn't rest with one species alone, Maya explained, showing the intricate quantum patterns that connected all living things. They chose humanity not to rule, but to guide, not to command, but to show the way. The quantum field pulsed with unprecedented power as the final vault opened, but unlike 30 years ago, when humanity alone could perceive these forces, now thousands of species watched in shared wonder as new understanding flooded through the network. This is our legacy, Maya concluded, her voice carrying the weight of generations of preparation. Not as humanity alone, but as part of something greater. We were never meant to be the only guardians. We were meant to be the first of many. As her words echoed through the hall, the quantum field blazed with light visible to all. The ancients' final message played across the network, confirming what humanity had discovered through decades of teaching and sharing. True power lay not in containment, but in connection. Earth still stood as the heart of the quantum network, but it was no longer alone in its purpose. Throughout the galaxy, other worlds had stepped up to share the burden and the privilege of guardianship, each finding their own way to connect with the forces that shaped reality. Humanity had fulfilled their role not by jealously guarding their power, but by sharing it wisely. They had proven the ancients right not through strength alone, but through their ability to teach, to guide, and to help others rise to their own potential. As the final ancient messages faded into the quantum field, they left behind not an ending, but a beginning. The galaxy was entering a new age, one where the forces that could unmake reality were instead being used to perfect it, guided by the combined wisdom of thousands of species working in harmony. The legacy of the stars belonged not to humanity alone, but to all who were ready to share in the greatest responsibility the cosmos had to offer, the guardianship of reality itself.